Hi everybody, here to talk to you today about the rock cycle. And the rock cycle is just another example of a process on Earth in which matter is not created or destroyed, but it just changes its form. And during the rock cycle we can see rocks going from what you know to be rocks as these cold, hard substances into a liquid form and then back to rock again. So just like any process that involves a cycle, matter changes its form, but it doesn't get destroyed. Matter of fact, the Earth hasn't gained or lost any matter or water since the beginning of time. And this is kind of an interesting phenomenon to know that we bathe or take showers in the same water that fell as rain on the dinosaurs. So as far as rocks concerned, when you go to the beach, you see particles of sand. Well, that sand, those sand particles were once, a rock or a boulder, and they were eroded by wind or water over time, carried to the beach as sediment and deposited on the beach as sand. And the sand, as we know, that we find on the beach, sometimes that sand gets pulled out into the ocean. And as it gets pulled out in the ocean by wave action, it'll deposit on the ocean floor. Along with other bones and shells, such as this shell right here, which is made of calcium, these types of things will also be deposited on the sea floor. Coral, which is also made of calcium carbonate, just like your bones in your body are. These types of things will be deposited on the sea floor, and over time, due to the pressure of the water above and the other sediment above it, will press down upon the sea floor, creating a layer of rock. And this type of rock is called sedimentary rock. And the sedimentary rock is typified by having stripes or striations. I don't know if you can see that on the video, but there are stripes in this rock. On here you can see this rock has a crack in it. Matter of fact, we can try to break this rock open. So sedimentary rock is where we're going to find fossils, which is really cool. So if you find a rock with this type of crack in it, and the layers are horizontal, most likely it's a sedimentary rock. So I wasn't planning on doing this, but I'm going to see if I can break this rock open, and we'll see if we can get something out of it. I don't know, maybe it'll be a fossil. Let's see, I have a pair of scissors here. I'm going to pry it in this crack, and let's see if I can get this thing apart. Oh, face it to the camera. Aha, let's see, you'll know before me. Anything? I'm going to take a look. I don't know, there might be a little seashell in there on this one here in the center. It could be a deposit. I'll have to take a better look with the microscope. So sedimentary rock is formed over millions of years or hundreds of thousands of years. And what happens basically is we have, wave action breaking things down. So for example, this shell, right, can be broken down by wave action, someone walking on it, an animal eating it. And the shell, which is made of calcium, just like your bones, is going to kind of fall as particles, through the water and deposit on the bottom of the ocean. So let's take this shell. We're going to put it inside this mortise, and we're going to grind it up with this little stick called a pestle. This is what they used to grind up leaves and medicines in the olden days, mix it all together and make it into a pill. I'm going to take this shell, grind it down, and we'll pour it into a tin, and we'll see how it settles out as a sedimentary rock and see how fossils are formed, okay? So I'm going to put the shell in here. We're going to grind it up. Grind it. Now, like I said, shells are made of the same stuff your bones are made of, which is calcium carbonate, or calcium, and they break down. And as the oceans turn acidic over time, the shells are getting more brittle. Because not only do we have a problem with global warming, we have a problem with ocean acidification. The ocean's getting more acid, kind of like orange juice, and that breaks these shells down, and the animals aren't able to stay in their homes any longer, and they're dying prematurely. So we're not at that point yet, a critical point on Earth, but it's kind of turning that direction. So enough of the bad news. Let's get back to the sediment, okay? So here we have the ocean floor, this tinfoil plate, and we'll pour some of the sediment in here from the shell. You can see that. And so the sediment will fall through the water over time. And what happens is anything on the seafloor is going to get trapped in there. And over time, as the sediment on the seafloor rises up due to volcanic action or plate tectonic action, what we have remaining are fossils. So if we kind of excavate this 100,000 years after the deposit of sediment in the seafloor, we can see that we have a nice trilobite that's been trapped in the ocean floor. Okay, so it's a common fossil to find. Another common fossil to find is this tooth. This is a tooth from a giant ancient great white shark called a mastodon. Okay, so sedimentary rock happens over a long period of time. Little particles of dust, debris, soil, sand, calcium from bones settle out, carried by rivers into the ocean and the lakes. And as they settle over time, they compress down by this process of cementation. The rock layers cement each other, and what we have left is a layered rock like this called sedimentary rock, and in that rock you'll find fossils. Stay tuned for the next rock cycle.